86%. We're going to have to find out if that holds true because we're on the Antares battlefield for North America. It is the Valor Series semifinal #1 Allegiance taking on Darkpower.
Twitch chat feeling confident. All right, let's see how this goes here. Darkpower has the faith of the community. Can they live up to that? Thank you so much, Jump, as we get into game #1 here with our first semifinal in North America. Sui J, to start this game out, what does Darkpower need to do to go up against the Titan that is Allegiance?
Yeah, they have a pretty heavy execution. They have to land this Alice stun, the Sunshine stun that she has. Violet needs to scale up. She needs to get to level 3 or 4. She's pretty weak in early. Morin is also weak. So the key is now side lane. Who's going to do what type of rotation and ganks? The jungler, as soon as they get the red buff, who's going to go then rotate to side lane to get a pick on KO or get a pick on Lubu here, and that's going to allow them to get ahead. And Dragon side, you need to be very careful. That is the key there. Whoever gets these ganks on Dragon side and makes plays, it's going to get ahead. And so far, Wonder Woman has taken Vision Bird, and that puts her slightly ahead of Lubu.
And of course, you know, MTS playing this Wonder Woman, such a strong solo laner here, of course. But one of the things that we have to look at moving into this is, of course, both teams have a traditional ADC. So far in Europe, one team drafted it, the other one didn't. They went full assassin composition. This is really the first time that we're seeing, at least today, the first time that we're seeing ADC versus ADC. So we're going to see how that plays out. Are both teams going to play a little bit more conservative, try and go for the late game, or are we going to see some early game calculated aggression? That's going to be my big question here. The X factors have to be that Morin, have to be that Violet. I'm going to watch for them for both teams here.
Yeah, you can see them. Look at them. They have, and Neo catches them out, and they know that they're there, and they dive right in there. Look at Lucifer, how decisive he's playing there, and the poke that's coming up from the Violet here.
The poke going in there as well, but it is MTS with that lasso actually pulling himself forward, thinking that he had the HP bar advantage. He actually did not. That might have actually cost him because he took so much damage. And with that, Darkpower taking first blood, their health bars were so very close, but Wonder Woman actually not coming out on top. So that's the difference between pulling yourself towards them and pulling them towards you.
Yeah, that was such good positioning by the Violet there. Because of Violet was in the bush there, and look at KO. KO's winning the side lane, but Violet was in the bush. They knew that, you know, Rocker was in that little small bush in the middle. Alice did her Sunshine, got the stun, and oh my goodness, KO's playing too overconfident here. This is rough for Allegiance so far in the first 3 minutes.
I mean, his name is Omen. He can't be bad at that hero. That would just be awkward. That was a sick play there, a strict outplay. So 2 quick kills going over to Darkpower. Clearly, Twitch chat knows something that we don't.
Yeah, this is something that's looking pretty good for the side of Darkpower here. You saw what Allegiance did. They went to rotate to side lane. They do this a lot in their previous games. They always try to get the red buff, and then they try to make a play off that side lane, getting these side rotations. However, it was just perfectly predicted by the side of Darkpower. They got Vision in the mid lane, waited for that rotation up, and then just jumped on the both of them from that bush there. So it's a lot of mind games right now. And then Neo looks like he's about to get caught out here. Nice combo by Rocker, getting that stun on Neo and securing the kill.
Beautifully executed, frame perfect, not a moment where the CC was not lined up. And that, again, is the problem. If that had been a Thane, would things be a little bit different? Yeah, yes, it would. Alice, though, in that situation, just getting a little bit too caught out, feeling a little bit too confident. Oh, it's just a lumber. It's never just a lumber.
Yeah, exactly. Alice does not have an escape. Like, Thane can just charge out to safety. Alice, however, is not a frontline, so in the late game to mid game fight, they can focus her down and blow her up. And that is the weakness of Alice, is your comp needs to engage first. When Alice gets that stun or someone goes in, you need to engage with the Alice because she is not good at playing as a tank to help really absorb that damage for your team to then go in.
She's great helping to set up that that first initiation, as you said, but you hit the nail on the head there. When she's the one being initiated on, it's a tough situation to be in because she just does not have that mobility. So that's going to be a priority pick there for Allegiance, making sure they can shut her down to start these fights, because of course once that hissy fit goes down, it's really tough to deal with. So now we see the side of Allegiance going in now onto this Abyssal Dragon. Sleepy is here, drawing some of the Fire First team, but Maple and crew are going in. This is going to be an attempted snipe there, but no, Rocker is going to secure the bigger splitter, the pushback with the poison gas bomb, and that is going to be Maple dropping here. Look at the combination once again. Preda and Lumbar getting a dragon to boot. Allegiance is back in this game.
Yeah, what a decisive rotation. They rushed the Abyssal Dragon uncontested. They just knew the positioning of Darkpower and their rotation speed. And then Rest getting that huge Earth Splitter, stunning 2 people. And then the poison gas bomb coming from Sleepy. pushing the hero back, and then they're able to kill the Labu. I mean, the combos that they're doing are so fantastic. And we saw that in mid lane too. Rock on this Morin, dropping the medic storm, and then shooting the impact barrage to stun Alice into his medic storm, and then getting these kills and put him right back in the game even, and now they probably will get ahead from here.
Yeah, and look at, Rocker. He's going to be someone we're talking about all game long. Allow this guy, again, if you allow him to just sit back and press his buttons, you're not going to win that fight. And he loves this Morin. We see it time and time again. He is such an absolute beast. His jungle rotations are crisp and clean. But speaking of jungle rotations, Dave is now here.
Wow!
No stack for you, says MTS. The lasso is there. Actually pulling out the ult as well, though. That might have been a bit of a miscommunication there. So a cooldown that's not going to be...
Yeah, he wanted to clear the wave, actually. He needed to ult the wave to get rid of it completely because Violet would probably have taken a tower. And look at this stun! Neo gets caught out and he gets deleted from that fight.
Oh, beautifully done once again, finding the Alice out of position. That was another great pickup here for the side of Allegiance. That is exactly what they need to be doing. And the pullback, once again, unable to follow up because they can have it to connect storm. Yes, nicely done. And Rest stepping way too far forward, though. It's going to pay for that win there for the side of his team. So a slight recompense for the side of Darkpower here as they are trying to hold their ground here in this mid lane. But so far, Allegiance looking really solid.
Yeah, Walker is starting to get slowly ahead. He has 2 kills to his name. 3.6 to 3.3 of Violet there. That's a 300 gold difference, which gives him an extra item, but that's going to, more importantly, give him a potential level lead. And as a result, Allegiance can now go on the aggressive. They can start posturing, dominating the dragon side, taking it over, and getting more dragons and stacking it now 1 over Darkpower.
Darkpower needs to keep it together here. They're not that far behind by any means, only about 1,000 gold behind and only 1 kill. But it's the moral victory here. They need to make sure that they don't let Allegiance get a foothold on the map. They need to make sure they protect these towers. If they allow the map control to go the way of Allegiance, the rotations will never stop. The invades will never stop. They need to keep up the pressure themselves. You said it before, Alice is great to initiate these fights. That's what they need to be doing. Neo and crew need to go in. The difference is that Violet, her scaling is pretty good in the early game, but so is Morin's, and that's the difference here. Dave has not quite been able to do as much damage as Rocker.
Yeah, the one thing Violet has over Morin is she's bursty. She can jump around. Morin wants to keep that fight. He wants to stack his passive and be able to get that lifesteal, because the longer he fights, the more he stacks his passive, the more lifesteal percentage he gets actually per stack. So that's how Morin wants to play. He wants to get in your face and just keep fighting, while Vi just wants to dance around, poke you, get you low enough, and then burst you down.
Speaking of bursting them down, Sleepy in the mid lane is getting quite a bit of value there. The Preda is looking real good right now as Omen and crew. Oh, the ear splitter barely missing, though the poison gas bomb with the ult. Not quite enough to secure that takedown, but they will get a tower. Trading out top and bottom. This 3-man push is coming in for the side of DP, and that is MTS going way too far in the back line, diving under 3, trying to keep his tower alive, but he's going to pay for it with his life as his own squad is getting value in the top lane. So space created, forcing the rotation back from the side of Darkpower's. Allegiance is here as 4 people pushing into this high ground tower. Now this is their opportunity to take an early high ground. This could absolutely be massive here. Look at the damage onto Omen, not quite enough to secure that kill. And look at it, keeping Rest under the tower. Oh no, that was huge.
That was a good death embrace. I love what Darkpower is doing, though. They are trading towers right now. Because Allegiance was not able to get the high ground tower, they actually now are behind on towers, with Dark Tower taking 3 towers and Allegiance only taking 2. So this is something that's huge for the side of Darkpower to make that trade, and it's keeping them in the game because they're not that behind, actually. The game is pretty even for the most part.
This game is very even, which is a little bit surprising to me considering how favored Allegiance is coming into this. And now we see the push in onto the Abyssal Dragon. The snipe, it is going to be there. Nicely done. Darkpower's going to grab the Rocker now. Is separated in the middle of his entire enemy team. We are going to see Violet drop as well. Says 1-for-1 trade, but the Dragon going to be going the way of Darkpower through all of this. So trading out those ADCs, and now it is Sleepy here. This Preda has been doing damage all game long. This guy is an absolute beast on this hero.
Yeah, Sleepy's doing such a good job positioning and focusing his Plague Specters in the right direction, in the right zone areas to zone out his opponents. And that was a really risky play by Rocker there, trying to get the Abyssal Dragon by himself there with 3 members of Darkpower there. They're able to rotate on him. They lost the Dragon, actually, and as a result, the trade actually benefited Darkpower because they lost the Dragon and got those kills and kind of traded evenly. However, Allegiance was able to turn that around by getting that mid tower.
Allegiance finding something there in that exchange as well. And again, barely a 1,000 gold difference here between these two teams. And even in kills, Darkpower is coming out saying, hey, you know, Immortals goes toe-to-toe with these guys. We can go toe-to-toe with them as well. But now it is Allegiance looking to engage in the top lane. And Omen now once again caught out in a 4-man rotation, but not able to utilize that tower in this situation. And that's the thing, I think Rest's positioning has actually been a little bit too aggressive so far this game. I need him to take one little step back here as Rocker is going to look potentially solo up this Dark Slayer here, baiting out the hissy fit. This is huge, but that was actually massive from Neo. Actually managed to stop this and reset the cooldown there on that Dark Slayer, pulling him back. But look at the damage that Rocker is able to do. He is shredding this by himself
look at the lifesteal he got. That's from his passive precision. He gets 26%, you know, total lifesteal once he's level 15 from that passive. 5 stacks, and the cooldown for tactical remover is also a refresh too. And this is why Morton is so good. He wants to sustain. He can take these objectives by himself. He gets so much lifesteal from his precision passive that, you know, you got to be careful. You got to watch him. This is why Rocker loves playing the Morton. He just loves to go in your face and just out damage you and lasting as long as possible in these fights.
And now that he's got that Clavis Sancti going, those crits are going to start to hurt, to put it mildly here, as he's going to start to chunk down this high ground tower. But the minions are down. The backdoor protection is going to be there. They were trying to do a lot, getting that top tower as well as this mid, and maybe putting themselves up a little bit too far. Oh no! Look at the damage already that Rocker is dishing out. This is an ADC as we know it and love it. This is one that hits hard, one that you have to respect. The fight is going in. The knock-up they're coming in from Maple. The Red Stallion getting decent value, but they're pushing in. The high ground tower is getting very low. As the side of Allegiance is pushing in. Maple is going to fall. The Hissy Fit though getting massive value, but the nice dodge by Sleepy in the back as well. But KO's now being drawn in, but they're going to turn in. This nicely done. KO is trying to run away. No, not able to flip over the wall. Beautifully done there for the side of Darkpower to rally. Try to get those kills. 2 more autos.
Oh
yes!
my goodness.
Rocker is unstoppable right now. Dave is trying to rally, join the fight though, because it is 4 members of the side of Allegiance pushing in onto the core from Darkpower, and Rocker is just going toe-to-toe with them right now. The Earth Splitter's there, the knock-up, the follow-up, the damage. Lucifer, 1 more auto, and that is going to be it. And with that, Allegiance pushes in the death push, the final rally as they take game number 1 over Darkpower.
Darkpower's towers were eliminated swiftly, quickly, and yet another victim falls to the Allegiance prowess. Game number 1 goes in the favor of ALG. What seemed like hope at the beginning, First Blood going over into Darkpower's hands. Allegiance took things back in control very quickly and eliminated that Game 1 chance.
Yeah, it was amazing that Darkpower got the lead. They got the first 2 kills, but then Allegiance just came back into the game, winning some key fights with the combos they were doing. Rocker just being able to carry on this Morin really solidified the game for them.
I mean, you look at the 5, 1, and 7 doing absolute work, but Sleepy as well. He was just constantly hitting those play specters time and time again, playing so safe. Look at the damage, 34% and 32% respectively. That's where that should be. And 38% from Dave. Like, he was still doing work for his team on that Violet. Like, really nicely done there. Talk about ratios. But it just wasn't enough. I mean, we've seen ADCs played even today, like that Lindis we saw earlier, who was just trying her best, but it just never really felt like there was a huge impact. That's a huge impact. That is a mid-game ADC ramping, coming online. You get the crit going, get the life steal. It's just really hard to lock down.
Yeah. It was a mountain.